Right now at 8, flames forcing more people out of their homes as fire crews offer a grim prediction about what's in store.
This is an absolute marathon that we are embarking on.
As the flames rage on, smoke fills the Bay Area skies, but the potential for more lightning remains the biggest concern. The news at 8 starts right now. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Terry McSweeney.
And I'm Garvin Thomas. We also have Anusha Rasta with us tonight.
Garvin and Terry, even if we don't live in the burn area, these fires are affecting us all. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll take a look at air quality across the Bay Area and how quickly it can go from bad to worse.
Thanks so much, Anusha. New video tonight from the North Bay showing flames burning out of control. Firefighters continue to work around the clock.
Yeah, and it's not just the North Bay. Fires burning in parts of Santa Clara County and the East Bay, along with Santa Cruz, San Mateo counties. That's the CZU fire. And tonight, we've learned a body has been found in the fire wreckage.
We have team coverage tonight of all these fires. Let's begin with Marianne Favreau in Scotts Valley, where, as Terry just said, the CZU fire we learned tonight has turned deadly.
Yes, and it was some very close call for one homeowner in Boulder Creek tonight. It was very scary. Just up the road here off Highway 9, we watched as flames headed right to the home. Now, this is what it looked like in Boulder Creek just a couple of hours ago. The flames were burning a fence, and we did not see any fire crews around. But 10 minutes later, CAL FIRE crews showed up and attacked the flames with shovels and water, preventing the flames from burning the house. But it's not just firefighters working to save homes. Michael Daniel says he and his friend used just shovels and rakes to save at least 2 homes in Boulder Creek.
We've been seeing houses that are on the brink of being burnt down by slow-moving fire. These flames are moving really slowly with all the brush, and the structures and buildings are really close. So what we do is try to create a fire line right by the fire and put the fire out to try to save homes.
So far, the fire has destroyed 163 homes and other buildings, and tonight it's threatening 24,000 others. Sadly, as you mentioned, Santa Cruz County Sheriff's deputies say they discovered the body of a 70-year-old man on Last Chance Road in Davenport. His name has not been released. Firefighters say they did make progress today, in part because the weather cooperated, and they were able to establish a secondary line on the south end near UC Santa Cruz, and also a containment line near Boulder Creek and Ben Lomond. Also, 60 engines from out of state showed up today, and 26 more on the way. And National Guard teams are expected to arrive here on Wednesday. And some more good news. It even rained here in Scotts Valley for a short time. So that, of course, is going to help the firefighters' efforts. But the big concern tonight is the threat of lightning strikes starting even more fires. Reporting live in Scotts Valley, Marianne Favreau, NBC Bay Area News.
Marianne, before you go, I had a quick question about what you saw up in Boulder Creek. Did this fire look like it was part of a fire line as the fire was progressing, or kind of a spot fire which sprung up out of nowhere?
Well, it looked to us that the fire was coming down through the dense trees, and it had made its way all the way down to the ground to where Highway 9 is, and then it was going back up toward the home. So it looked like there wasn't any fire line near that area. It just looked like it had been a spot fire that had made its way in between all of those trees. But like we said, there were no fire crews in sight for miles. And then finally they showed up and they were able to save that home.
Yeah, hearing those firefighters, I know that keeping the fire on one side of Highway 9 is very important to them in this fire. Marianne Favreau in Scotts Valley. Thanks, Marianne.
Well, if you were outside, you saw it and you smelled it, and from this shot you can see it. Smoke shrouding the Bay Area today. Air quality becoming a major concern. This is a live look from our Emeryville camera, and somewhere out there we still believe there is San Francisco, but the biggest threat is the potential for more lightning. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Jeff Ranieri. And Jeff, what can we expect?
Well, it's going to be one of those things where it would be a hit and miss situation. So some of us could get some of those lightning strikes while others really don't see anything at all. So as we start off right now, I did want to get out the fire warning, again, in effect until 5 p.m. tomorrow for that chance of some isolated lightning. Now, the second thing I want to transition to is the radar. This has become a lot more active. We have seen some light to moderate rainfall moving through the Bay Area. I have not seen any lightning strikes over the past 2 hours, so there's a little bit of good news. We're getting some light showers to help to at least clear out the air quality for a little bit here. The wind is picking up, though, as this rain is moving in. We've seen gusts of 20 to 40 miles per hour, so some of these light showers moving off to the north definitely could develop some rainfall here into Napa through 8:47 tonight. The thing we are worried about, though, is lightning, and there's a little bit more of some severe aspects off to the south with some lightning strikes. We're going to keep a close eye on that, and coming up in 10 minutes, I'll have a look at the fire lines and the weather we can expect, and a closer look at those fire perimeters and where some of those hot spots are located right now. Again, I'll wrap all this up for you coming up in about 10 minutes.
Great, Jeff. Thanks very much. Even if you don't live close to the fires, it's hard to ignore the impact they're having on our air quality. Anusha Ross is tracking how much it's changing. Joins us now to explain. Anusha.
Terry, that's right. Everyone's being affected by these smoky skies, and we want to show you just how quickly the air quality changed throughout the day just today. Here's the first image for you. Take a look at this map. This is from the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, and this one's from this morning at 11 o'clock. You can see most of the Bay Area covered in yellow being moderately unhealthy air. And then we've got some red, the unhealthy air in places like Vacaville near the LNU complex fire. 4 hours later, wow, big change from this morning. Most of the Bay Area covered in red and even some purple, which is very unhealthy conditions, moving toward Antioch. And then as we made our way into the evening, some improvement during the 5 o'clock hour for people on the peninsula and in San Francisco. But for folks in Antioch and unfortunately in Livermore, unhealthy and even hazardous air. Now let's get to some video from Pleasanton, which was shot earlier this evening. You can see just how hazy the skies were over there. Some of the worst air quality in the Bay Area tonight. The smoky air is a big concern for fire evacuees, some of whom, believe it or not, are camping outside. But firefighters say they are working to get them all indoors.
And we had talked about schools and things like that because they're vacant right now because of the COVID issues. There are some other facilities that might be utilized and might be helpful to utilize in that aspect.
Now, coming up at 8:30, we'll break down how the smoky skies are both helping and hampering the firefight up in the North Bay. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Anusha. The Wall Bridge, part of the LNU complex, is burning in the North Bay and is forcing schools to close tomorrow. That means not even distance learning because of the mass evacuation. Schools in the Forestville, Guerneville, Monterey, and Montgomery school districts will be closed. Also, El Molino High School, which is in the West Sonoma County High School District, will also be shut down.
New evacuations tonight have been issued for people east of Morgan Hill on the east side of 101 as the SCU Lightning Complex continues to grow. NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana have been monitoring the latest developments on that massive fire, and he's live at base camp in Pleasanton tonight. Sergio.
Yeah, well, the good news on this fire is that the forecasted high winds from those red flag warnings never really materialized today. But the bad news is that that simply means that the smoke has parked over this fire and much of the Bay Area, and that's causing some other problems. The latest communities to feel the effects of this expanding fire are people who live just east of Morgan Hill. They got the order to evacuate late this afternoon.
You know, we're somewhat apprehensive about what to do, but we had been planning for the last few days, got our vehicles parked elsewhere.
The lingering smoke has made it difficult to fight this fire from the air. Air tankers had to be grounded because of poor visibility. On the ground, crews from across the state and from neighboring states continue to arrive to help.
Currently we have just about 90 engines from several different states. I think 8 different states: Washington, Oregon, Texas, New Mexico, Idaho, Montana, Utah.
And more are on their way. National Guard troops have also been activated and will be added to this and other fire lines. But fire commanders are already gearing up for a long, hard fight because of the sheer size of this fire, already one of the biggest in California history, and the other fires burning in the region. Now, in just the last 45 minutes or so, we have started to feel a little bit of a breeze coming through here and some sprinkles as well, but very good news so far. no lightning strikes. Reporting live, I'm Sergio Quintana, NBC Bay Area News.
That is good news, Sergio. Thanks a lot. Well, this map shows how close the evacuation warning zone from the SCU complex fire is to Livermore, and where Sergio is in Pleasanton. Parts in red under mandatory evacuation. The area in yellow is an evacuation warning area. You can see how close it's getting to the Tri-Valley area. People there watching closely, being told to be prepared to leave.
This weekend, CAL FIRE is getting reinforcements in the form of National Guard troops. The California Guard tweeted this picture today of CAL FIRE issuing protective gear to 270 Guard soldiers. The troops are undergoing hand crew training at Camp Roberts on the Central Coast. They'll soon be supporting state and local firefighters.
We're sending alerts with the latest information on the fires. You can download our free NBC Bay Area app to get them sent straight to your phone.